All right, Calvary Church of Fort Worth. Here we are. We're back into another podcast. I got a question real quick. Are you guys enjoying the podcast? You know, there was a little time there where we did a few of these, and I was unsure. I was thinking to myself, do people really want to watch this? Is this something they want to see? And I was so pleased when we started getting comments that they enjoy them. So I'm glad that you're watching this one. I know that we've had different hosts this particular series because we're in a series. It's called I Love My Church. It's a sermon series, but it's a little bit more than that too. It's kind of like a little campaign. We're pushing hard here at the church leading into Easter. And Easter's just a few weeks away. So before we jump into this week's topic, I just got a curious question. I didn't brief you on this. Do y'all watch podcasts? Not just Calvary. Do y'all watch podcasts at all?
I do more so than Gaylon does. Our son watches a lot of them, and he's
Oh,
got
he does?
Yes. Oh, he's a big podcast person.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the podcasts I watch are podcasts that she says, "Hey, Gaylon, you need to watch
You
this."
need to watch this. That's right. Guys, this is my friend, Gaylon Ross, his beautiful wife, Glenda. I would have known them now for over 20 years, 27 years, actually.
Right.
And I love to hear stories about Preston.
Yes.
And I don't know if Amanda watches podcasts.
She
or
does.
Listens to podcasts. I'll be honest. I don't really watch a lot of them. I don't really listen to many of them. I've tried to be that guy. Maybe you're watching this one and you're trying to be that guy that tells people, well, I was watching a podcast recently. I've tried that, and I don't really get into podcasts that much. So for those that really enjoy watching them, that's awesome. I guess I'm more of a book guy. I love to read. I love to get into books and try my best to exhaust that. But podcasts are tough for me to. Let me say it this way. I don't mind watching like a edition of a podcast, like somebody sent me one. I'll watch it, but to do it faithfully, my sister, I don't know, my sister may watch this. Tanya, if you're watching this, my sister loves podcasts. She's into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, here we are, Calvary Church podcast. I love my church, and we're talking about generosity. Now I'm going to recap real quick. We've been talking here at our church. One of the few things that we love about it is that we're alive.
That's true.
Amen.
Calvary Church is it's a church that's alive.
For
That's
sure.
right.
That's one thing I love about it. And it's alive in multi-generations. We've got senior community all the way to nursery. It's full every Sunday. And our church's own mission. Quick shout out, real quick. On my way here to do this podcast with y'all, I got a phone call from our mutual friends, Jared and Stacy Jones. They just got home from Togo, West Africa.
Oh, how neat.
And they were able to, this sounds crazy, but this is what the Lord did through them. They were able to purchase 4 cows,
Wow.
butcher the 4 cows, that equated to 13,000 meals.
Wow.
That's big.
Now, all of us, we've all heard of these feeding programs.
Right.
We'll give $1. We'll give $1 a day. Sometimes you're unsure where that dollar's going. Our mission partner, Meet the Need, and it's kind of neat. It's called MEAT for substance. Meet the Need. This isn't wondering where the dollar goes. We have church people there that represent Calvary,
Right.
and it's such an efficient ministry. There's no bells and whistles. Raise cattle, butcher cattle, feed children. 13,000 meals. And Stacy went this time. A female went this time.
I love it.
And Jody, Dusty Groon's wife, Jody went. And Jared just told me, he said it was a game changer having our wives there.
Really?
Oh, how neat.
Yeah, he said they were just able to minister in ways that they've not seen before. So our church, we don't just talk about mission. We don't just preach about missions. We don't just ask for missions offerings. We're a church that's on mission. And I want to talk about this couple. Now we're going to get to the generosity thing here shortly, but your own mission every Sunday night during small group semester.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And you're not just missional, you're not just all about missions. You actually open up your home to young adults. How is this year 2, or how long have you been doing this?
This is year 2.
Year 2.
Year 2.
Yes.
All right. Unplanned, unrehearsed. I would like both of you to just give me one little compact statement of what that's done for you, hosting young adults of Calvary Church.
It has really changed my heart with the relationships that we have built with the young adults is incredible. So when you pass them at church, you have that relationship that you're seeing them, and you know that the future of Calvary is great because you're just hearing them in a small setting, but it's a beautiful setting, and you get to know them on a different level.
Yeah, we say that here. Pastor Dustin Watts does a great job at leading our small group ministry. Small groups in general, that it's really where life happens.
Right.
And I really think it's neat that you guys are opening your home to a different generation. Before I get your answer, Gaylon, I've never asked, were you asked to do this by somebody? Did they like beg you, or did you offer? And
No.
how did that happen?
It started off, we brought, and I believe it was pizza, to the Watts home where they were hosting it in their home.
Okay.
And so we contributed the meal one night, and then we stayed and participated.
Gotcha.
Well, the joy that we got out of doing just that little piece when we moved, and we intentionally picked a new home
Yeah.
where
What a
we could have the room
Mm-hmm.
and the opportunity to make it God's house.
Yeah.
Where we could serve people. Had no idea that it would be the young adults at this point,
Mm-hmm.
but we did that intentionally. We asked yourself and
Yep. I remember it.
Denora and Grant and Kelly to come to the house before we ever moved in.
Yep.
Prayed over the house, and when this opportunity came up, we told Kat and Dustin, we would love to host it if y'all will teach it. And so this collaboration that we have together has been fantastic.
I love it. Do you have a one little sentence walk away?
The
What's it done for
little
you?
walk away is, as Glenda said, establishing relationships with the younger generation that too often us more seasoned
There's a
folks,
gap.
we dismiss them as
Yeah.
they don't know what they're doing. They're really not in it for the Lord. But to listen to them, to see what they do, to see them up here on CYC or worshiping with the
Yeah.
worship team, it does something for your heart.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a segue. We're here to talk about generosity. I love this church.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Calvary Church is a generous church. And you got to understand, guys that are watching this podcast, you can't talk about it without bringing up money. But my goodness, if that's all you want to talk about, you're missing generosity.
That's right.
Amen.
Generosity was actually modeled by God. He sent his only begotten son. It was a gift. The greatest gift ever given wasn't a Starbucks card.
Right.
It was the Savior of the world. God gave us his best gift in Jesus. And by that gift given, and by the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, the church was purchased by the blood of Jesus Christ. So now we kind of trickle down to local churches. Maybe you're watching this and you're a part of our church family here in Fort Worth, Calvary Church, or maybe you're from out of state. If you're not in a good home church, you're missing out.
That's right.
You need to be in a local home church. Please don't look for one that's perfect. You just need to look for one that's healthy. Healthy churches are alive. Healthy churches are on mission. And healthy churches are generous. They give. And it's not just money. We're going
Right.
to talk about this today. I didn't prep Gaylon and Glenda, but their small group ministry all started out of giving pizza. Generosity. What a perfect couple to have come spend a few minutes with me about generosity. Is there any selfishness in you guys at all? Or is there anything you're selfish with? I'll help you. I don't share salsa. I don't like other people in my salsa. I embarrass everybody I go out with. We'll say, we'll take some chips and dip, please. And I'll say, I need my own salsa. And Denora has to look at the table and say, guys, I'm sorry. He doesn't share salsa. It's true. It's true. I know it's a great sin. I don't share salsa. So stay out of my dip.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'll probably get in trouble later on. But Glenda has candy little bowls set out all over the house.
Okay.
Well, she calls that her medicine at times.
Yeah.
And so, particularly after the young adults are over, because they tend to like to pick up candy and eat it, which is what it's there for.
Exactly.
But then she'll walk around and go, I'm not finding any of my good medicine.
Yeah. They cleaned you out.
No, I love it though.
So are you selfish with anything though? Because I've always known you guys to just be givers, generous. But there's got to be something.
I honestly think that with where we're at in the season of our life, there's nothing that we're not willing to give. I will say that we both talk about it. Is it in our heart to do this, or not this time? Let's look for that next opportunity. We've learned to be sensitive about that. You can't do everything
That's
for
right.
everybody.
That's true.
So
You'll give yourself broke.
Yes.
you will, but learning to be sensitive to the nudging of the Spirit to, is there something you can do for this person? And she's a lot better at it than I am of sensing, let's do just a little bit of something for them. I don't know what's going on, but they need the feel of an arm going around their shoulder to know that somebody cares.
Yeah. Man, you guys, I feel terrible. I'm selfish with salsa, and you have nothing that you're stingy with at all.
Let me back up. I don't want anybody mowing my yard. I like
getting somewhere.
Yes.
Finally.
I like to
You're a
mow
tough
my
crowd,
yard.
by the way.
I like how I like it to
You
look
don't
a
want other
certain way.
people messing with your grass. You
No.
like your yard mowed the way it is.
And then I can sit on my porch and look at it and go,
and
that
say,
looks.
I did that.
There you go.
That's right. Mine's straws, but nobody wants to share their straws.
Straws, like drinking straws?
Yes, like when the kids are little and they
Yeah.
want, how some moms will let their
Yeah,
kids drink. I
not gonna
can't do
happen.
that.
Yeah,
I cannot do that.
I'm that way too.
Yes. So
Actually, I really probably shouldn't be hosting this because I'm kind of selfish about a lot of things. Now, I'm generous. I
Well,
love
that's
to
okay.
bless other people, but there's just some things I just want for myself. And salsa's one of them. And the
love it.
remote control's another.
Amen.
And the air condition, the setting of the temperature.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't want other people doing that.
So are you at the season in your life where you're sitting there watching TV and Denora walks in and sits down and she doesn't have to say a word and you go, what is it you would like to watch?
No, I don't do it that way. I'll be honest with you. When Denora, our better opportunity would be this. So Denora and I have this little thing. We do our very best to go to bed at the same time together.
Mhm.
We really try our best to get up and go at it in the mornings. We get going together at the same time frame. I bring her coffee in the morning. But we're kind of that older couple that I like to watch the news at night and I like to watch the news in the morning. But I have gotten to the place where there's this little look. It's not a bad look. She just kind of goes, and I feel it. And I'm like, I'd watch. What would you like to watch?
Yes, sir.
So it's not as beautiful as you had made it. You were like really romantic when you said, what would you like? I don't do it like that. I do it because I think I'm about to get stabbed. It's not, I don't do it flirting. It's like, what would you like to watch? So anyway, let's talk about generosity in
Okay.
our church. So I want to ask you a question, and some of these are prepped, okay? Just let the audience know. When you think of a generous church, what comes to your minds when you think of a generous church?
I'll let Gaylon start with this one.
Yeah.
So a generous church to me is a church that has, and I've been in both types of churches. I grew up in a church that I won't call it a generous church. There were limited programs. There were no small groups.
Mm-hmm.
You had Sunday morning, Sunday night. You had choir. You had Wednesday night. Every now and then there was an event. Everything's not about events, but small groups are the bread and butter. That's where you build relationships. And I didn't learn that until later in life here at this church. So small groups is a huge thing.
Mhm.
Serving, the opportunity to serve. You go to a lot of places and only hand-picked ones get to serve. Here, you come in the door with the right heart, the right spirit. There's an opportunity for you to serve. The question
Excellent.
is, where are you going to serve?
Right.
That's a generous church.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna add on the back end of that.
Mhm.
All of that generosity doesn't happen for free.
Mhm.
It doesn't just materialize. I think when a lot of people hear generosity, they think, show me the money on the table.
Mhm.
That's not what it's all about. But it does take generosity from the people in the church to support the church so that all of this can happen.
Right. I don't want to, like kill our podcast by saying that's just common sense, isn't it?
It is.
Because I don't want to just say it's just common sense, but because everybody doesn't get that. Everybody doesn't realize that a generous church is it's not because they pass the offering plate multiple times. That actually that would be the opposite of generous.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
We here at Calvary, and I don't have anybody else to ask. You're the only ones here today, but I think you would vouch for me. We really don't put pressure on that part.
No.
You don't.
We are kind of guilty, though, of asking people to get into a small group. And we are kind of guilty of saying, hey, I would love for you need to be on a dream team. And we push them that way because we know what they give there is going to bring them a return that their offering in the plate's not going to bring them.
That's right.
There's a passion. There's a release of giving of passion. I think of, I better be not guilty of calling names, but I think of one particular gentleman that's serving right now in our student ministry, 100% volunteer, middle-aged guy, young dad, got kids, serves with such a level of excellence. But I see his serving generosity bringing back to him more than any amount of money would ever bring him.
That's so true.
Right.
We'll just keep the spotlight on you guys. Your serving young adults is so generous of you, but look at what it's bringing back to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
The return on investment is ridiculous.
is.
It helps in marriage. It helps in health, especially when there's medicine called candy everywhere. It helps in marriage. It helps in health. I know I'm being silly here. You sleep better after they leave because you've been poured out. You've given all
That's
you
so much
got.
true.
You vacuumed. You wiped down the counters. You made brownies, and you're giving. All of a sudden, you feel rested. Monday comes around, and you're like, you know what? I can't wait for Sunday to get here to do all this again. There's something about generosity that brings a return on the investment that money really can't bring.
Without question.
Right.
And you're right. A lot of times the kids all leave. It doesn't take us long to get it cleaned up because we've learned to work together. We've got a process. And invariably we talk about, can you believe how good this was tonight?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I will tell you that just pours into us individually, we used to be that couple that we were here, our kids were here, we would show up.
Right.
We would do the church thing, worship, sing, shake a couple of hands, and we're out the door.
Yeah.
I didn't know who all the other kids were. I knew who the kids were that my kids hung around.
Right.
But now, at our age, you see all these young adults bumping fists, hugging necks. It just pours into you.
Yeah,
Right.
it does.
And they see you here. at church events, at various small groups, Sunday nights. That is their safe place to come.
Yeah.
To talk about anything they want to pray about anything they want to, and it pours into my soul like words can't explain.
Yeah. You know what is really neat, and I hope I use the right words here. Y'all might educate me if I get this wrong, but there's like a sentiment or a statement in the marketplace when somebody retires, but then they come back to work, kind of like an encore. It's like a second career, or there's a better way of saying this, but you guys have been a part of Calvary Church for a long time. There was those years of when Calvary was doing choir. Y'all were, I remember you were big time into that.
Right.
We had our seasons of different types of ministries. You all were a part of it. And then you hit in that window when your kids got out of the house, kind of caught your breath a little bit. I love seeing you in your encore. I love seeing you in your second ministry.
Right.
And it's really refreshing. I actually think you guys are a great model of generosity in not just the young adult. I'm going to spare you embarrassment, okay? And I mean that sincerely because I know you. You don't give financially to be spotlighted.
Right.
But there's a reason that you're at this table more than just small group. You, as a family, for years, have poured into this church financially. And what I mean by that is not just weekly contributions. If we've ever had a need through the years, I know there's families that have had needs that you met their needs. What's amazing to me that most unbelievers and then also most critical Christians, when it comes to money, what you'll never get, what you'll never understand, because you've allowed the enemy to blind you to this. You've allowed like a bitter root in your heart about money. What you'll never understand is this couple is a great example. You're blessed financially today at a measure. And the only reason I know this is because I'm their pastor and we're actually good friends. You've shared with me here in your latter years, and it's not like you're 100,
Right.
but you've had great careers. But in your latter years, God's done more for you in your latter years
That's true.
than your early busting at 60 hours a week years. And I will tell you, there's something connected about your faithfulness with your tithe, your offering, your serving others, hosting small groups. God will surely bring it back to you. And Gaylon, I can't speak of Glenda's necessarily her childhood and past and upbringing as well as I can yours, only because I knew your dad.
Right.
And I know there's churches, physical church buildings in different countries that were funded. You come from a family of generosity, which brings me to a question. Can generosity is it taught? Is it caught? Do you just have it? Are you born with it? Where does it come from? I think you inherited a little bit of it.
I think it's a combination.
Talk to me about that.
I think you're born with it. I think God puts it in us to want to help other people. Then I think you're influenced with the people that you're around, your parents, people that you get to know that you're close with, and if you don't have, let me rephrase that. If you're influenced by people that make it a demand, or if you don't give X amount of money, then you're going to go to hell.
Oh gosh.
that begins to cut the tentacles off of generosity. But when
It definitely takes the joy out of it.
it definitely takes the joy out because you do it out of fear.
Right.
And I had some of that growing up in the church. I remember many services. Hey, I need the men to stand up and tell me how much you're going to give because we need a new air conditioner or whatever the need was.
Sure.
And after everybody was done standing up, and I'm giving them 500, I'm giving 1,000. I need 5 more men to stand up. That is not this church.
Yeah,
that's right.
There may be times where you talk about, and I remember just not so long ago, we had 5, 6 air conditioning units that went out.
Yes, we did.
And because this church stewards well, we had the money to do it, but it drains that reserve pot.
Right.
Right.
And so it needs to be replenished. As we have moved into the season of life that we're in now, the position of our heart, the desire to give, I believe is probably the best that we've ever had in our lives.
Beautiful.
You give it the right way. You hold the blessings of God loosely in your hands, because if you don't hold them loosely, your fingers are going to get pried off of them. And if you hold them loosely, God's going to direct them to where they need to go. And if we're the tool and the instrument that puts that out there and it gets directed to where it needs to go, whether it's to the church, whether it's to another family, whether it's an anonymous gift to somebody that's just in an envelope.
Right.
I've learned to listen to my heart, and I'll give her the credit. I wasn't the most sensitive guy. And oftentimes it would be a nudge from Glenda of, we need to do ABC.
Right.
And it wasn't we didn't have the ability to, but the desire is a different thing versus having the ability. And,
Excellent.
and she would often point me to, hey, pay attention to this.
Excellent.
Let's look at this.
That's partnership.
What can we do?
Excellent. I'm curious. I love that your husband publicly honors you in that way. That's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's really special. Where is that coming from in you to nudge the husband at times? Is it like what your desire for generosity, was it taught to you? Have you just developed that? Where do you think it comes from?
It wasn't taught to me as a child. I went without as a child, and because of that, I always wanted to be a person that could give whenever I was in a position to give. And so that is kind of my background. I also look at it, I worked in the medical field for 32 years.
Yes, you did.
And so for people, when you're born, you have oxytocin, what was it? Serotonin, and what was the third one that I talked about earlier? Sorry. You're born with 3 neurochemicals that God gives you when you're born. And all of those are a form of generosity.
Really?
They are. And
Son, we're about to learn something.
Yes, and I apologize for pulling my notes up here.
Open those notes up. This is too good to skip around.
So oxytocin, which helps you build bond and trust.
Okay.
So that is your relationship with God, bond and trust with people. The dopamine is a reward center of our brains. So when we give and we show generosity, we're being rewarded, not only from a spiritual standpoint, but from a physical standpoint as well. And serotonin affects our moods. And our moods, oftentimes, as we know, drive our behaviors.
Yep.
And so those 3 chemicals we are born with at a certain level. But as we grow up from children, those get tarnished because of outside, things that come from the outside.
Girl, this is fascinating.
So whenever you get older, your relationship with God is so important because it reinstates all of these and it realigns all of these whenever you get into having a heart of giving, a heart of service, a heart of generosity. And I'm a big believer in this.
I love this. I didn't see this coming. I thought we were going to, go a certain path. I love that you came with prepared thoughts and notes on this. I want to not so much wrap up because I don't think we're quite done, but I want to shift into something concerning you, the viewer. Maybe you are one of the young adults that hang out with Gaylon and Glenda, or maybe you're one of Gaylon and Glenda's peers that are thinking, I think I might want to start a small group of some kind. Here's what I do know. Every single one of you that are watching, and I'm going to let you know this, me too. This isn't the kind of preacher that just points his finger at you. We can all be more generous, whether it be giving of our time. Maybe you're sitting on some talent that you need to offer to the work of God. And of course, there is finance. How I teach and preach giving here at the church, for you that may not be familiar with Calvary Church of Fort Worth, we don't teach and preach that tithing is salvational. You can work hard and be successful, but if you want the blessings of God on your life, that's where putting him first comes into play. So we can all increase our generosity. If you're not tithing, tithe. If you've never given to a church, and if you're a part of a local church, give to it. But then consider giving other ways. Give other ways. So I take my ball here and pitch the conversation to Gaylon and Glenda one more time. If you had a table drinking coffee with 3 or 4 people, and they literally ask you, what can we start? What can we do to become more generous? What steps? How would you answer it?
I would love to answer that question. It's not about the money. It is not.
Okay.
Money helps, I'm going to call it the machine, move, build things. It's necessary. It's like blood in the body.
Yeah.
It is necessary. The best thing that can happen when somebody asks that question, and it is set up so well here at this church. You go to next steps. You go through that process, and you begin to see the opportunities to serve. You're gonna see some comfortable opportunities to serve. Let me be a greeter. I can open the door for anybody. Okay. Not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
We need our greeters. I love our greeters.
We need more.
But here's what I would ask people to do is what are the service opportunities that need some help?
Yes.
Our kids.
Well, you don't have to make it a long list, Gaylon.
No, but it's
preaching.
No. We are blessed abundantly with that. But our kids ministry, our baptistry ministry.
Yes.
Safety team.
Yeah.
There are many
for sure
opportunities to serve.
And they're there.
They're there. And we have a process set up here at church that will help you get you introduced to the right people, introduced into that lane. And I would tell people, don't get in the comfortable lane. Open your heart up and let God point you to where you need to be, and be willing to give your best.
Yes.
Give your best. Have a big servant's towel. Make sure it's used.
Wow.
Don't let your ego get in the way.
Ooh.
Because ego is the anesthesia that dulls the pain of stupidity.
Oh, my.
And reason I know so well, I've been there.
Yeah.
So serve, use that servant's towel. And I like to listen to Rick Rigsby.
Yeah.
And I got this from him.
Yeah.
John Wooden was one of the great basketball coaches. Won 10 national championships in 12 years. Great coach. His calling was impacting young men. And you see him, the videos, the TV shows where you would see him interacting with his players. You hear the stories of the players talking about how he would encourage them and coach them in life and interact with them. One of the things, as great of a coach as he was in college, UCLA, he was caught out there on the basketball court with his own broom, cleaning the court.
All right.
So there's no job too big.
Right.
There's no job too small. But let God lead your heart to where you go and do the best job you can.
My goodness.
Regardless of what it is, you make sure it's done with excellence.
And
Right.
do it unto the Lord.
Absolutely.
Right. And
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And I strongly believe when you do that, then the generosity of giving of your finances.
It just
kicks in.
follows.
It just follows
It does.
naturally. It
Yep.
just follows naturally.
Wow. Guys, this has been incredible. I feel like we can go all night.
Yeah.
But I would like to say this to you that are watching. Find a good local church.
Amen.
Amen.
If you're in our local area, come at least give Calvary Church of Fort Worth a visit. It may not be the perfect church for you. I always get laughed at by my peers because they're like, man, it's almost like you tell people not to come. No, it's not that. There's really nothing worse for a pastor trying to pastor people that don't want to be there. And there's really nothing worse for families that are trying to be in a church just because somebody told them they had to. Generosity happens when there is a synergy, when there's a synchronizing of burden and heart. Find the local church that leads you into giving your best. Gaylon, you said it so well. You want to be a part of a house that leads you to give your best, that gives you opportunity to give your best. That doesn't say, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're not qualified for that. You're not good enough for that. Find you a church that says, come to Jesus and help others find him too. And here are ways to help. Give your best. This is awesome. So Calvary Church of Fort Worth, I love you because we're alive. We're on mission. We're generous. I can't wait for these next two topics. The next one is we're healthy. I love my church because we're healthy. And then we'll wrap up the sermon series. I love my church because it's my assignment. We're going to be talking about ownership. Guys, you've owned this. You've done an amazing job. First podcast ever?
First.
First.
Wow. Probably
Yes.
not going to be the last. You're good at this.
Thank you.
I love you, Calvary. I bless you in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Make it a great week. Be generous.